Hi everyone, I'm Mumu from Susan's family. Today I'll teach you how to crochet the Phoenix and Peony wedding fan. This fan is made up of several parts: the motif, peony flower branches, the phoenix, and accessory assembly. First, crochet the motif. Start with a magic ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Connect the last row with the fan frame. Several crochet stitches will be applied, which are all marked on the chart, so I won't list them one by one here. Please watch my demonstration for the specific crochet method. Take out the corresponding yarn. The sample is made with cotton yarn. To make it easier for everyone to see clearly, colors are used randomly. For specific yarn details, color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the product detail page and the paper instructions. Leave about 20 cm of yarn tail first, then wrap the yarn around your finger to start with an adjustable magic ring. After that, crochet the first round. Start with a chain of 3 stitches as the beginning chain for double crochet, which counts as 1 double crochet stitch. Then, work 11 double crochets into the magic ring loop. Once completed, close the magic ring. Finally, on the turning chain, pick up the top 2 strands of the chain stitch. Work 1 slip stitch. The slip stitch at the end of the round needs to be pulled tight to avoid extra stitches in the next rounds. The first round is complete. We will take the side with clearer texture as the right side of the fabric. Continue to crochet round 2. Start with 2 chain stitches as the beginning chain for half double crochet, which counts as 1 half double crochet stitch. Match the starting chain below. Then make 1 chain stitch as a transition. Work 1 half double crochet into the left stitch. Mindful that the left stitch may be a bit distorted. Don't miss it. Continue with 1 chain stitch. Work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. This round is simply working half double crochets into each stitch from the previous round, with 1 chain stitch in between each. Finish this round. Once the last chain stitch is done, work 1 slip stitch into the starting chain. Here, pay attention to find the second chain stitch from bottom to top. Insert the hook through both loops to crochet. Pull tight. The second round is complete. Now work on the third round. First, into the left chain space, work 1 slip stitch as a transition. The slip stitch shown in the oval shape on the pattern chart indicates that you don't need to pull tight. Start working a special puff stitch made of 5 double crochets. First, make 3 beginning chains. Then, in the same space, work 4 incomplete double crochets. Work the first stitch, yarn over, insert the hook, draw the yarn through, yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. The first stitch is complete. Continue with the second stitch. Yarn over, insert the hook, draw the yarn through, yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. The second stitch is complete. Continue and work 2 more stitches. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops at once. Push the fabric up slightly. And that's how you complete a special puff stitch made of 5 double crochets. Continue with a 3-chain transition. In the next chain space, work a 5 double crochet puff stitch. First, make 5 incomplete double crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops at once. The 5 double crochet puff stitch is done. From now on, we'll simply call it the puff stitch. Continue with 3 chain stitches. This round is worked into the chain spaces of the previous round. Correspondingly work the puff stitch, with 3 chain stitches as a bridge in between. Continue to finish this round. Once the final 3 chain stitches are done, work a slip stitch into the first puff stitch of the round. To finish with a slip stitch. The third round is complete. Now move on to the fourth round. First, work a slip stitch transition into the left chain space. Then make 3 beginning chains as the starting point. In the same chain space, work 5 double crochets. Next, pick up the chain space from the previous round. Work 6 double crochets in each space. Finish this round completely. Finally, finish with a slip stitch on the starting chain. The fourth round is complete. You can now measure the diameter of the fabric piece. Make sure to spread it out evenly. Tighten it before taking the measurement. If it's larger than the size shown in the chart, adjust your tension and crochet again. To avoid an uneven look when connecting to the fan frame, continue to crochet the fifth round. First, transition with a slip stitch on the left stitch. Then work 4 chain stitches. Skip 2 stitches and slip stitch again. In this round, you slip stitch after skipping 2 stitches each time. Transition with 4 chain stitches in the middle. Continue crocheting downward. After completing the last 4 chain stitches, slip stitch into the braid formed by the starting slip stitch. Which is the 2 strands above the slip stitch? Work 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The 5th round is complete. Now crochet the 6th round. First, transition with a slip stitch in the left chain space. Chain 2 to begin. Work 2 half double crochets in the same space. In the left chain space, work 3 double crochets. Two chain stitches, and 3 double crochets. We'll treat the stitches after the slip stitch as one group. Continue and crochet another group. First, work 3 half double crochets in the left chain space. In the next space, work 3 double crochets. Two chain stitches, and 3 double crochets. The second group is complete. Continue using the same method. Finish the remaining part. After completing the last group, join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain stitch to finish. Round 6 is complete. Now move on to round 7. First, slip stitch into the half double crochet stitch on the left side. Then chain 3. Work 3 double crochets in the 2 chain space on the left. Two chain stitches and 3 double crochets. Continue with 3 chain stitches. We'll consider the worked stitches as one group. Proceed with the same pattern as this group. Finish this round. Pay attention that the slip stitch is worked into the middle stitch of the 3 half double crochets. After completing the last group, pick up a chain stitch at the beginning and slip stitch to finish. Round 7 is complete. Now start round 8. First, pick up the top loop of the 3 chain stitch on the left side and work 3 slip stitches as a transition accordingly. Continue matching the stitch positions and work 3 slip stitches as a transition. Finally, slip stitch into the chain space. Don't pull too tight. Then chain 10. Continue with a slip stitch in the next 2 chain space. Chain 10. Mind that the chains here shouldn't be too tight. This round corresponds to the 2 chain spaces from the previous round. Slip stitch accordingly. With 10 chains in between as a transition. Continue crocheting to finish this round. Finally, start at the beginning. Slip stitch into the slip stitch braid in this space to finish. Round 8 is completed. Next is round 9. The technique is similar to round 4. Make sure not to crochet the wrong number of double crochets in each space. Refer to the chart to complete it. Now crochet round 10. First, transition with a slip stitch on the left side double crochet. Then chain 3 as the beginning chain. 1 chain transition. Then work 1 double crochet in the second double crochet stitch from the right side of the previous round's beginning chain. Crochet 1 double crochet, mindful to insert the hook from the front. Don't wrap the beginning chain. Slightly elongate the loop. Keep it loose. Complete a special puckered. Cross double crochet 1 stitch, with 1 chain space in the middle, later referred to simply as the crossed stitch. Continue with 1 chain stitch, left side previous insertion position. Skip 1 stitch and work 1 double crochet. 2 chain stitches. Skip 1 stitch and work 1 double crochet. Repeat these 3 stitches 2 times. After completing, crochet 1 chain stitch. Next crochet 1 crossed stitch. First work 1 double crochet on the 5th double crochet stitch from the left, meaning the second stitch from the left side of this space. Keep it loose. 1 chain stitch, then work 1 double crochet on the 3rd double crochet stitch from the right side of the previous insertion. Work 1 double crochet, meaning the second stitch from the right side of the space. Pay attention to insert from the front. Do not wrap around the previous double crochet. The stitches are separated. 1 crossed stitch is completed. We will treat the stitches worked after the crossed stitch as a group. Continue to work another group. First work 1 chain stitch. Then skip 1 stitch and work 1 double crochet, with 2 chain stitches in between. A total of 4 double crochets. After completing, work 1 chain stitch, 1 crossed stitch. First work 1 double crochet on the second stitch from the left side of the space, 1 chain stitch. Then on the second stitch from the right side of the space, insert the hook from the front. Work 1 double crochet. The crossed stitch is completed. The second group is also done. Continue with the same technique for another group. Finish the remaining part. After completing the last chain stitch, join with a slip stitch on the starting beginning chain. Round 10 is completed. You can measure the diameter at this point. The dimension should not exceed the data given in the chart, nor be too small. If the size doesn't fit, you need to adjust your tension, and recrochet the last few rounds. Finally crochet row 11. Here I'll demonstrate using a swatch. First, correspondingly make 3 slip stitches on the 2 chain spaces on the left side, and the middle double crochet, slip stitch transition. Now reaching the hole position, take out the fan frame. The connecting position faces upward. Place it on the edge of the fabric. The part below needs to be crocheted together with the frame. Place the yarn under the frame. Make 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. Here we'll wrap the fan frame into the stitches. The turning chain for the single crochet doesn't count as 1 stitch. Then make 2 single crochets in the same hole underneath. When crocheting, remember to wrap around the fan frame. Make a single crochet increase on the double crochet on the left side, which means making 2 single crochets in the same position. Keep wrapping around the fan frame throughout. We won't repeat this reminder later. Single crochet increase completed. Make 3 single crochets in the 2 chain space. Follow this method. Alternate between making a single crochet increase and 3 single crochets. Now we're at a 1 chain space. Make 2 single crochets inside. Crossing stitch position. Continue making a single crochet increase on the stitch. Make 2 single crochets in the 1 chain space. Move down and make a single crochet increase corresponding on the stitch. Make 2 single crochets corresponding in the 1 chain space. Make 3 single crochets in the 2 chain space. Keep crocheting all the way to the right side of the beginning chain on the previous round, this chain space. If you encounter tightness in the fabric piece while crocheting, pull the yarn tight. Just crochet naturally downward, mindful not to make the single crochet too tight, to avoid affecting the sewing later. Once the corresponding position is finished, you can adjust the layout of the motifs. Match the gap position with the corresponding spot on the fan frame. The entire motif forms a tight effect. After confirming everything is correct, break the yarn, secure with one chain stitch, pull up the loop, leave a 5 cm yarn tail and cut it off. Pull tight. Weave in the tail along the texture on the wrong side. You can use a yarn needle for assistance here. You can weave in a few more stitches. Trim the excess yarn tail. Leave the beginning yarn tail for now. This way the motif is done. Next let's learn how to make the peony flower branch, including the calyxes, the petals, leaves, the small receptacles, the buds, the pearl flower branches, and assembling the flower branch, these parts. First let's learn how to make the calyx. Using the magic ring method, crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Please refer to the demonstration for the specific crochet technique. Start with a magic ring. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand. Wrap around your left index finger twice. Now there are 3 strands of yarn on your index finger. Use your right thumb and index finger to pinch the overlapping part of the loops. Take it off. Then wrap the yarn tail around your left pinky once. Pass through between the middle finger and index finger. Transfer the loop to between the left middle finger and thumb. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Insert into the loop. Position the hook to the left side of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Draw the yarn through. Now there is 1 loop on your hook. Continue with 1 chain stitch to secure. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through the loop on your hook. 1 chain stitch is completed. Pull tight. The magic ring is completed. Next, work the first round. Start with 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. This chain stitch does not count as a stitch. Then work the single crochets around the ring. The single crochet technique is insert into the magic ring. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again. Draw through all loops on the hook. 1 single crochet is completed. The front side of the single crochet looks like a vertical V shape made of 2 strands. There's also a V shape made of 2 strands on the top right. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Continue working single crochets. Insert into the magic ring. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over. Draw through the 2 loops on hook. The second single crochet is completed. You need to work 6 single crochets in total for the first round. Continue crocheting the remaining single crochets. Three, 4, 5, 6. After that, close the magic ring. There are 2 loops. First, gently pull the starting tail. 1 loop is moving. Tighten the moving loop. Only 1 loop is left. Simply pull the yarn tail tight. This way the loop is closed properly. Next, finish this round with a slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch. Which is the second chain from the left of the yarn tail. It's this big braid. If you really can't tell, you can also count back from the last stitch. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still this same stitch. Insert. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook in one time. Slip stitch complete. This is the braid formed by the slip stitch. Does not count as a stitch. Need to tighten. When crocheting in rounds, always finish by joining with a slip stitch and tighten, like this. The first round is complete. Now move on to the second round. Start with a chain 1 to begin. The beginning chain does not count as a stitch. Next, work into the first stitch of the previous round. Work 1 single crochet, which is the insertion point of the slip stitch. When crocheting, keep the starting tail of the yarn on top of the hook. Crochet while pulling the yarn tail into the fabric. At the back, work into the adjacent stitch on the left side. Work 1 single crochet increase, which means work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. One, 2. So the single crochet increase is complete. This increase, and all the following single crochet increases, are worked into the same stitch. Work 2 single crochets, then work 1 single crochet in each subsequent stitch. Followed by another single crochet increase. Which means work 2 single crochets into the same position. Work 2 single crochets. Continue working one single crochet in each next stitch, and then another single crochet increase. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet stitch position. Which is right here. Insert. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Slip stitch complete. Needs to be tightened. Round 2 is complete. Continue to crochet round 3. Trim any excess yarn tails before crocheting. Make one beginning chain to start. Then work a single crochet increase in the first stitch. After completing, correspondingly make 2 single crochets. Next, follow the pattern of 1 single crochet increase followed by 2 single crochets. Finish this round. Finally, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Round 3 is complete. Next, let's distinguish the right and wrong sides. You can see the front side has a more distinct texture, while the back side is more blurred. Always keep the right side facing you as you crochet. After completing, crochet round 4. This round involves crocheting the corresponding number of single crochets and single crochet increases. Refer to the chart and finish this round. This is what it should look like after finishing round 4. Next, crochet round 5. On this circular fabric piece, you'll crochet 5 raised sections, which will form the center line parts of the 5 leaves of the calyx. Start with 1 chain stitch to begin. Then in the first single crochet stitch of the previous round, make 1 single crochet. Next, match the stitch to the left. Make 1 single crochet. After completing, crochet 3 chains. Then pick up the back loop of the second to last chain. Make 1 single crochet. This is the line we're talking about. Continue by picking up the top loop of the next chain and make 1 single crochet. Next, in the adjacent single crochet stitch, make 1 single crochet. We'll treat this protruding chain and the single crochet on top, along with the single crochets before and after, as one group. Continue crocheting 1 single crochet. Then repeat the previous stitch pattern. First, make 1 single crochet. Next, crochet 3 chains. Starting from the second to last chain. Pick up the top loop of the next 2 chains and make 2 single crochets. Then move on. In the adjacent single crochet stitch, make 1 single crochet. This completes one group. Then crochet 1 more single crochet. Continue crocheting the remaining 3 groups using the same method. Leave 1 single crochet space between each group. After completing the last group, join with a slip stitch. Finish. That's the end of round 5. Now move on to round 6. First, on the first chain space on the left side bump. Pick up the remaining 2 threads and make 1/2 double crochet. Yarn over. Insert. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There are 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, draw through in once. 1/2 double crochet is completed. The 2 threads forming a V shape on the upper right are the stitch of the 1/2 double crochet. Crochet 1 single crochet downward. Then, pick up the top thread, which is the back strand of the bump top chain. Pay attention not to pick up the back single crochet stitch. Work 1 single crochet and 1 chain. Then pick up the front strand of the single crochet stitch, and 1 strand on the left side of the single crochet. Work a slip stitch. Don't pull tight for the slip stitch. Then work 1 single crochet in the same position. Crochet downward symmetrically to the right side of the bump. First work 1 single crochet. Then work 1 half double crochet. Yarn over. Insert into the stitch. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again. And draw through all 3 loops on the hook. Half double crochet completed. We'll treat the 2 half double crochets on either side of this bump. And the stitches between them as 1 leaf. Move to the left, skip 1 stitch underneath, work 1 slip stitch in the adjacent stitch. Transition the yarn to the left. This slip stitch doesn't need to be pulled tight. Now move on to the second leaf. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the first chain on the bump and work 1 half double crochet. Work 1 single crochet downward. Now reaching the top of the bump. Pick up 1 strand. First work 1 single crochet and 1 chain stitch. Then pick up 1 strand in front of the single crochet stitch. And pick up 1 strand on the left, then work 1 slip stitch. Once completed, work 1 single crochet in the same position. Then work symmetrically on the right side of the bump. 1 single crochet. 1 half double crochet. This completes the second leaf. Now skip 1 stitch to the left. Work 1 slip stitch in the adjacent stitch. Continue working leaves on the bumps. Finish this round by working 1 slip stitch between each leaf. Now I've completed the half double crochets on the last group of leaves. Then slip stitch to the first HDC stitch. Tighten. Chain 1 to secure. Enlarge the loop. Leave about 1 m of yarn for sewing and cut the yarn. This completes round 6. Up to this point, the calyx is finished. Next, we'll learn how to make the petals. There are 2 layers of petals. From bottom to top, the first layer of petals. And the second layer of petals. The first layer has 2 petals. The second layer has 3 petals. All are worked using the chain ring method. Crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. When working the final round, thin wire needs to be added. The new stitch technique used is the treble crochet. For the specific crochet technique, please watch the demonstration. Pay attention to the green wire in the video. Replace it with a natural colored thin wire. First, start with a foundation chain. Hold the yarn with your left hand. Then use your middle finger and thumb to pinch the yarn tail. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Place it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Left hand thumb and middle finger. Pinch the crossing point of the loop. Position the hook to the left side of the yarn. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Gently tighten. Then crochet 9 chain stitches. Once done, form a circle with the chain stitches. Make sure the chain does not twist. Pick up the half loop above the first chain stitch with the hook, which is this single strand of yarn. Work 1 slip stitch. Tighten the slip stitch to connect. This completes the starting chain. Move on to crochet the first round. Make 1 chain stitch to begin. The beginning chain does not count as a stitch. Then work 1 single crochet in the same place, which is the insertion point of the slip stitch. Keep the starting yarn tail on top of the hook while crocheting, and gradually pull it into the fabric as you go. Next, pick up the adjacent position on the left and work 1 single crochet increase, which means picking up the half loop of the chain stitch above. This entire round is worked by picking up the half loops of the chain stitches. Continue downward, work 2 single crochets in sequence. Then work 1 single crochet increase. Following the pattern of working 2 single crochets and 1 single crochet increase. Repeat this once more. When completed, work 1 single crochet in the last stitch. Then work 1 slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch. Tighten. That's the end of the first round. Now move on to round 2. First, chain 1 to begin. Then work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Next, work 1 single crochet increase in the adjacent stitch on the left. This round and all following rounds will be worked by picking up stitches, following the pattern of working 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet increase. Repeat this 5 times. Finally, slip stitch to the first single crochet stitch. Round 2 is complete. Round 3 involves crocheting 6 bumps on this circular piece, which will serve as the center part of the 6 petals. First, chain 1 to begin. Then work 1 single crochet in the same position. Next, move to the corresponding stitch on the left, and work 2 single crochets in sequence. After completing, chain 7. Starting from the second to last chain stitch, pick up the top loop of each stitch and work 6 single crochets. Then move down to the adjacent stitch and work 1 single crochet. We will consider this bump, along with 1 single crochet before and after it as one group. Then work 1 more single crochet downward. Next, work this group. First work 1 single crochet. Then chain 7 again. After completing, go back, pick up the top loop of each chain and work 6 single crochets. Then move to the adjacent stitch. Continue with 1 single crochet. This completes one group. Then work one single crochet. Work the remaining 4 groups downward using the same method, each group separated by one single crochet. Finally, after completing the 6 single crochets, join directly with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. This way, adding the starting single crochet completes the last group. This concludes the explanation for round 3. Next, round 4, involves working small petals on the bumps, and this round has 6 petals. Starting from the slip stitch that ended the previous round, find the first bump on the left side with 7 chain stitches. Sequentially pick up the remaining 2 strands of chain stitches moving left. First, work 2 half double crochets. Once completed, proceed with 2 double crochets. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Then yarn over and draw through the last 2 loops. 1 double crochet is now complete. Continue to work the second one. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Draw through twice in sequence. The second double crochet is now complete. After finishing, work 2 treble crochets in the same position. The technique for treble crochet: yarn over the hook twice. Insert into the adjacent chain stitch on the left. Yarn over and draw through. There are a total of 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Draw through the first 2 loops in once. There are still 3 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over again. Draw through the first 2 loops. There are now 2 loops left on the hook. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. 1 treble crochet is now complete. The 2 threads forming a V shape at the top right are the treble crochet stitches. Continue with 1 more. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. There are a total of 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. Draw through the first 2 loops in sequence. 1, 2, 3. Repeat 3 times. The second treble crochet is now complete. Moving down, crochet 2 more treble crochets in the same position. 1, 2. 2 treble crochets are complete. After completing, we arrive at the top corner position. Pick up 1 thread from the left side above. Crochet 5 double crochets, which is the 1 thread behind the raised top. Be careful not to pick up the back single crochet. Next, on the raised single crochet, crochet a stitch pattern symmetric to the right side of the chain. In order, crochet 2 treble crochets in the next 2 single crochet stitches below. After completing, match the corresponding stitches and crochet 2 double crochets and 2 half double crochets. This completes 1 petal. After completing, skip 1 single crochet stitch below and leave it unworked. On the adjacent single crochet stitch on the left side, sequentially crochet 3 slip stitches. The slip stitches here don't need to be tightened. The insertion points for the slip stitches in this round are all made into the single crochet stitches of the 3rd round. The slip stitches crocheted this way will skip over 1 bump. Next, on the next bump, crochet a petal into the chain. First, crochet 2 half double crochets. Then crochet 2 double crochets. Next, crochet 2 treble crochets into the same stitch. Crochet twice. Then reach the top. Pick up one strand of the chain and crochet 5 double crochets. Pay attention not to pick up the next single crochet stitch. Then move to the other side. Crochet symmetrical stitches to this side. Everyone continue downward. This completes the second petal. There is a bump space between this and the first petal. Continue leaving the bottom open. Skip the single crochet stitch below. Crochet 3 slip stitches into the adjacent stitch position on the left. Similarly, skip over one bump. Then crochet the third petal using the same method. Everyone continue downward. Next, 3 slip stitches. The insertion point of the last slip stitch is on the first single crochet stitch of the previous round. That's all for the explanation of round 4. Now crochet round 5 downward. This round will make petals on the remaining bumps. First, find the right position on the front side. Pick up the fabric. You can see on the left side of the insertion point of the last slip stitch from the previous round. There's a texture of single crochet. 1, 2, 3. First, work one slip stitch on the wrong side in sequence. Insert the hook from the wrong side. Exit below the half double crochet. Pick up this single crochet stitch. Insert. Work 1 slip stitch. Then continue down and work another slip stitch. Exit below the half double crochet again. Insert into the single crochet stitch. Work the second slip stitch. Continue down and work 1 more slip stitch. Pay attention to the space between the second and third stitches here. This is where the raised chain and single crochet are. There are quite a few stitches. First, find the third single crochet from the right side. Which is this raised part, the last single crochet stitch. Right here. The stitch is at the upper right. If it's not clear, you can slightly stretch the fabric. Then insert the hook from the wrong side. Pick up the stitch of the single crochet from top to bottom. Work 1 slip stitch. When working the slip stitch, keep it slightly loose, to prevent it from puckering. This completes the 3 slip stitches crocheted on the back. And at the same time transitions 1 petal. Move down and start crocheting the petal at the raised part on the left side. Using the same method as for round 4, we've completed the last half double crochet of this petal. Now I've reached the corresponding position. Next, find the last slip stitch of the transition bump from the previous round. The stitch of the 3 single crochets on the left side. Work a slip stitch into each. Insert the hook from back to front. Pass through the stitch. Pay attention, the insertion position of the third slip stitch, that is on round 3. The single crochet stitch to the left of the corresponding bump. This completes the 3 slip stitches, and we've moved past this petal. After completing, continue to the next petal, then crochet the last petal using the same method. If you can't find the slip stitch insertion position, flip to the right side to locate the position before crocheting. The second third slip stitches are worked into the single crochet stitches at both ends of the bump. Pay attention to crochet from the wrong side. We'll continue crocheting until the last half double crochet stitch of the final petal. After completing the last half double crochet stitch, make a slip stitch into the first slip stitch of this round. Tighten the slip stitch that connects the beginning and end. That completes round 5. Now continue with round 6. This round is an edging worked around the 6 completed petals. As you crochet, weave the thin wire into the fabric. Take out the thin wire. The other end does not need to be cut off. Insert the hook into the petal section. Into the second half double crochet stitch. Work 1 single crochet. As you crochet, place the thin wire over the hook. Underneath the yarn. And leave a length reserved. Then work 3 chain stitches. Next, make a single crochet into the adjacent stitch on the left. Remember to weave the thin wire into the fabric. Then work 3 chain stitches. Then work single crochets into the corresponding stitches. Leave 3 chain stitches between each single crochet. When making the single crochet, place the wire over the hook. Crochet while weaving it into the fabric. Follow this method to finish edging the first petal. Finally, crochet into the second to last half double crochet stitch on the left side of the petal. Work 1 single crochet here. Stretch the loop. Remove the hook. Gently tighten the thin wire. Gather the petal slightly. Pinch the starting side of the thin wire at the same time, to prevent it from slipping. Make the petal look neat and well-shaped. Then work the second petal. Pay attention, the second petal is behind, don't miss it. Find the second half double crochet stitch of this petal. Start here and work single crochet stitches corresponding to each stitch in sequence. Make 3 chain stitches between each single crochet. Work the stitches while weaving in the thin wire. When you've worked about halfway, pay attention to tighten the thin wire. Tidy up the petal. Continue all the way down to finish this petal. Keep working until you reach the second to last half double crochet stitch. Now I've reached the corresponding position. Work 1 single crochet stitch here. The edge of the second petal is finished. Continue pulling the thin wire to gather the petal slightly. Make it firm and well-shaped. Later, use the same method to crochet the edge of each petal. Work while weaving in the thin wire. After finishing each petal, pull the wire to gather it. Pay attention that the 4th and 6th petals are on the wrong side. Don't miss them when crocheting. Refer to the chart, everyone. Finish crocheting the edges of the remaining petals. After completing the edging on all 6 petals, Join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet stitch. Pull tight. Secure with one chain stitch. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tails along the fabric texture on the wrong side. The thin wires at the beginning and end. After shaping the petals neatly, twist them together. Tighten. Then tuck it into the fabric following the texture. Trim the excess. The tail can be looped around a little too. Prevent it from coming loose. That concludes the demonstration for the first layer motif. The crochet method for the second layer motif is similar to the first. All the stitches used have been demonstrated before. Please note, the second layer motif is smaller than the first one, so there are fewer raised chain stitches, and the stitch count for the petals also differs. Please refer to the chart. Crochet the required number of first layer and second layer motifs in advance. Next, we'll learn how to make the leaves, a total of 4 pieces, in 2 different color schemes, all made using the foundation chain method. Work back and forth along the foundation chain, while wrapping the wire into the stitches during the process. The new stitch technique used is the striped single crochet. For the specific crochet method, please watch the demonstration. Pay attention to the copper wire shown in the video. It needs to be replaced with thin wire. First, take about 20 cm of copper wire. Set it aside for later use. Then, start with 7 chain stitches. After completing that, crochet the first row. First, work 1 chain stitch as the turning chain. Then, pick up 1 strand on the top of each chain and work single crochets sequentially. Continue crocheting until the second to last stitch. Now there's one stitch remaining. Continue by working a single crochet. Now it's time to wrap the copper wire. Insert the hook into the top strand. Then position the copper wire properly. This completes one single crochet stitch. Next, work 3 chain stitches. Continue wrapping the copper wire. Work a single crochet. Next, fold the copper wire upward. Then pick up the 2 remaining strands of the chain stitch loop. Continue working single crochets downward in order. Pay attention to weaving in the yarn tails while crocheting, and there's no need to wrap the copper wire. The stitches on this side should be symmetrical to the stitches on the other side of the chain. Keep crocheting until reaching the position 3 stitches away from the end of the chain. Now I've reached the corresponding position. With that, the first row is complete. Next, work on the second row, make 1 beginning chain, turn the work counterclockwise. Next, skip 1 stitch below. In the adjacent stitch on the left, work 1 single crochet stripe stitch. The way to crochet the stripe stitch is to work in the back loop of the stitch, meaning, hook onto the single strand at the back, and make 1 single crochet. That's how you complete the stripe stitch single crochet, leaving a horizontal bar at the front. Continue crocheting the stripe stitch single crochet. Pick up the back loop of the stitch and crochet this stitch. Another stitch is completed. Continue crocheting the stripe stitch single crochet. Keep crocheting until reaching the chain space position of the previous row. Arrive at the designated position. At the chain space, first, make 1 single crochet. Here, you need to wrap the copper wire. Insert the hook into the chain space. Place the copper wire between the hook and the yarn. Work a single crochet. This wraps the copper wire. Then bring the yarn over the copper wire. Continue by working 3 chains. Then make 1 single crochet. Here, place the copper wire on the left side over the hook, below the yarn. Crochet this stitch. We will work 2 single crochets in the same position, and 3 chains between the single crochets, as one cluster motif. Continue working single crochets into each stitch. Until you reach the third to last stitch. This completes the second row. Continue to the third row. Make 1 chain as the beginning chain. Turn the work counterclockwise, then skip the next stitch underneath. Work single crochets into the adjacent stitches on the left side. Continue until you reach the chain space. When you arrive at the correct position on the chain space, work 1 cluster motif. First, make 1 single crochet. Remember to wrap the copper wire. Bring the yarn forward. Then work 3 chain stitches and 1 single crochet. Remember to wrap the copper wire. The cluster motif is completed. Continue picking up at the corresponding positions downward. Work the single crochet stripe stitch. Keep going until you reach the position of the second to last stitch. Be careful not to miss any stitches when picking here. That's all for the third row. The fourth row is worked similarly to the third row. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the work piece. Skip 1 stitch and do not work it. Work the single crochet stripe stitch correspondingly. Reach the hole position. Make 1 hole pattern. Always wrap the copper wire when making a hole pattern. We won't mention it again later. Continue working the single crochet stripe stitch. Work until reaching the position of the third to last stitch. That's the completion of the fourth row. Now work the fifth row. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the work piece. Skip 1 stitch underneath. Continue working the single crochet stripe stitch. Work a hole pattern when reaching the chain space position. After completion, work 2 single crochet stripe stitches corresponding to the stitches below. Then chain 6. That concludes the explanation for the fifth row. Continue to crochet the sixth row, make 1 beginning chain. Then pick up the top loop of the chains and work 6 single crochets. Next, crochet 3 single crochet stripe stitches. When reaching the chain space position, work 1 hole pattern. Continue working 3 single crochet stripe stitches corresponding to the stitches below. Then chain 4. That concludes the explanation for the sixth row. The remaining part is to repeat the previously demonstrated crochet method. Keep crocheting until reaching the required row count. Pay attention that the stitch count may vary slightly for each row. Follow the chart to crochet. When counting rows, every 2 rows will form a more visible texture line. Simply count the rows based on this texture line. That concludes the explanation for the leaf. Leave a long yarn tail after finishing. Everyone follow the chart to crochet the required number of leaves in advance. Next, let's learn how to make the small flower calyx. Total of 2 pieces. Both are started with the magic ring technique. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Please watch my demonstration for the detailed crocheting method. Start with a magic ring. Then work the first round after completing the ring. Make 1 chain stitch to begin. Work 1 single crochet into the starting hole. 2 chain stitches. Slightly stretch the loop. Then pick up the back bump of the chain stitch, which creates this 1 strand of yarn to carry. Correspondingly make 2 slip stitches. We'll count the stitches worked after the turning chain as a group. Continue making 4 more groups. After completing the last group, tighten the loop slightly. Finally, finish with a slip stitch in the first single crochet where you began. Leave a yarn tail of about 50 cm before breaking the yarn. Secure the starting yarn tail on the wrong side. Complete this part. This completes a small flower calyx. Crochet the remaining small calyxes using the same method. Next, let's learn how to make the bud. A total of 2 pieces. Start with a foundation chain. Work along the foundation chain. Watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, start with a chain stitch. After completing it, crochet the first row. Start with a chain 1. Begin from the second to last stitch. Pick up the half loop on top of the chain and work a single crochet correspondingly. Finish this row. After completing this, the first row is done. Next, crochet the second row. First, chain 2. Turn the work piece. Work 1 double crochet into the last stitch of the previous row. Pay attention, when on the wrong side, the stitches are on the upper left. Work 2 treble crochets into the next stitch. Work 1 double crochet into the left stitch. Chain 2. And 1 slip stitch. Gently tighten. We'll count the crocheted stitches as 1 petal. Then work 1 slip stitch transition into the next stitch. Then make 1 petal. Pay attention, start the double crochet at the slip stitch insertion position. The second petal is completed. Continue transitioning with slip stitches. Finish the remaining petals. Once the last petal is completed, leave a 30 cm yarn tail and break the yarn. Row 2 is completed. We'll consider the side with the clearer texture of this row as the right side of the fabric. Finally, crochet row 3, crochet on the right side, on the second chain of the first petal on the right side. Pick up 2 strands like this. Join the yarn. You can tie a knot. Pull through a loop. Adjust it a bit. Yarn joining is completed. Then work 1 slip stitch into each of the middle 2 treble crochet stitches. Both sides have 3 chain transitions. You can bring along the yarn tail. After completing, pick up 2 strands and slip stitch into the first chain stitch on the left. Gently tighten. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail and break the yarn. All yarn tails should be hidden on the wrong side. This completes the first petal position. For the remaining petal positions, join yarn and crochet using the same method. Please complete them. Look. This is what it looks like after completing the third row. Also secure the short tail from the starting chain. 1 bud is now completed. Crochet the remaining buds using the same method. Next, we'll make the pearl flower branches, a total of 4 pieces. Watch my demonstration for the exact method. First, cut 2 wires each about 1-2 cm long. Fold them in half. Pinch tightly. You can use pliers to help. Take out the yarn used for crocheting the sapple. Glue it securely at the folded end. Wrap the yarn around the wire, about 8 mm from the end. You can first apply a bit of glue evenly on the wire. Be careful not to use too much glue. Wrap for about 4-5 cm. Leave a tail of around 20 cm at the end. Tie 1 knot. Secure it firmly with glue. Finally, attach a pearl at the top. You can test it first. If there is any exposed wire, you can cut it off. Apply some glue. With that, a pearl flower branch is done. Make the rest of the flower branches using the same method.